guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Charlie and I sell handmade polymer clay, earrings and accessories from my shop called Charrings. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what it's like to run a small business and talk about running a small business in 2026, what you need to consider before starting, and just some tips and advice really. I've had my business for over 5 years now, so I know a thing or two about running one, the ups and downs. I've gone through it all. So at the end of this year, I was reflecting on the business, thinking about all the things that I have gone through and the things I wish I knew before starting a business. There are so many things that people just do not talk about or do not tell you. So I thought today we could just touch on a few things. And if you're thinking about starting a business in 2026, hopefully this video helps you. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's sit down and chat. And your tea will taste so much better if you've got the Charrings Earring Lover mug. Just letting you know, they're on the website, charrings.com. Anyway, the first piece of advice I would give for running your own business is, before you start, make sure you are passionate about what you are going to be doing. Whether it's making things, whether it's selling things, whatever it is, just make sure that you actually enjoy it and you're not just doing it for money. Just make sure you love it, because if you don't love it, it's not gonna last, unfortunately. I absolutely love making earrings. So for me, it's very easy for me to come in and it does not feel like work at all, even though I've been doing it so long. And there are parts of it that I do not enjoy. Of course, that's the joys of every single job. But I love my job. I love what I do. I love the creativity around it. Whether you're a creative person or not, whatever your brand is going to be or what your company is going to be, make sure that it's something that you genuinely do care about and you're passionate about, because you'll love learning more about it, you'll love improving, and it will always make your business better. So in my opinion, I would just recommend, make sure you love it before you do it. And if you're thinking, well, I don't love it, see if there's something else you can do, something that you actually enjoy. There will be some sort of way you can monetize it or make it into a business. Now, on the money side of things, I would just say before starting, I would personally recommend doing it alongside another job. So if you're already working, start that small business on the side. Don't quit your job and just go in. You can do what you want, don't, you know, I'm not your boss. That's the joys of running your own business. You are your own boss. But just from my advice and my experience, I started my business on the side as well as working full time, which can be harder because it's a lot more work. But if you want it to happen and you love it and you're excited about it and, like I say, passionate about it, then you'll want to do that on the side, because eventually it can become your full-time job. For me, for example, 3 years into the business, I did 3 years on the side. Hard work. It's hard work, but running a business is. So if you're not prepared to do that, then you probably shouldn't have a small business, because it is a lot of hard work, because you're doing everything on your own. There is no one there paying your bills. There is no one there telling you what to do or what your next task is or what your deadline is. You're doing all that yourself. So it is hard work. So make sure you're prepared for that hard work, but also make sure you realize that the money is not guaranteed every month. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be a month where you get absolutely nothing. I'm just saying, when you work full-time for somebody, and majority of us, if we've worked in full-time jobs, we're used to the same pay each month. We know what we're getting. We can prepare for paying bills and all of that sort of stuff. Whereas with a small business, one month you get thousands, the next month you could get hundreds. You know, it really does depend and vary. And I just think, I knew this when I quit my full-time job, that doing this full-time would not be guaranteed money each month. But I do have bills to pay and I need to make sure that happens. So for me, I have made that happen every month. I've made sure that I've got enough money for my bills. At the end of the day, if you feel like you're not gonna make it, you need to change things up real quick and make sure that you do make it. It just is what it is. That is the joys of it, is you've got to switch it up, you've got to change something, you've got to think of something creative. So make sure you make the money, basically. That is part of the hard work, but just know that it can fluctuate in money. So I know it's an obvious one and maybe you're thinking, yeah, duh, but just so you're aware, like, it really can fluctuate. Something that I would recommend, and this is sort of when you run your business, you'll notice. So if you do already run your business, then you may notice this. But for me personally, the end of the year is busiest for me. So October to December is really busy for me because we've got Halloween and Christmas. Now, a lot of people get gifts around that time of year, want to treat themselves, and people enjoy Halloween. They go out for it. They want to get some Halloween earrings. So for me, that is my busiest time of year. My quietest time, January, February, the beginning of the year. So for me, I have now learned from my first year of doing it full time that was my busiest time. The beginning of the year was my quietest. Therefore, in your busiest time, try and save some money aside for the beginning of the year. So you have sort of evened it out a little bit so you're not stuck and struggling. So if you do have a good month, whenever it may be, try and set some back so you've got a little pot there as a safety net. And that's what I personally have. I'm currently 38 weeks pregnant. If you don't know, if you're new here, you're like, what? Yeah, I'm 38 weeks pregnant at the moment, which means I'm gonna take a month or two off my business at the beginning of the year, which means I have been needing to prepare for that because when you're self-employed, you get no maternity leave or anything. So I'm still working when it's less than 2 weeks to go before I give birth. But it means that any money that I make now, I can save. I have earned that time off with my baby and I don't need to stress. Now, some things that are a little more on the serious side of things that I really never see small businesses talk about, and I do wonder, is it because they haven't done it? Or is it just because it's something boring that nobody really wants to talk about? But I want to talk about it because I don't see it and I didn't know about this before going full time. It might be really obvious to some people, so bear with. You must register your business. You do it online on the Gov website. Register your business just so that they know your business exists. With doing that, you do need to pay tax. Now, I didn't know that. I knew there was a certain amount you needed to earn before you needed to pay tax, but you still need to put in a tax return even if you aren't paying tax. For the first 3 years of me running my business, it was on the side and I didn't earn enough. So you can earn £12,570 before you need to pay tax. So you can earn that in a year and you don't need to pay tax. However, you do still need to fill out a tax return, which I wasn't aware of. For the first 3 years, I didn't do that. But then I got 3 years worth of bills, which was £100 charge each time for not filling it out. Because on their point of view, they're thinking, you have a business, so why are you not paying your tax? So if you fill out a blank tax return form, letting them know that you don't earn enough, then at least they know that you're running your business, you don't earn enough to pay tax, and they will leave you be. But as soon as you earn enough to pay tax, you do need to start paying it. Now, a lot of people may not know what it entails to pay tax or what is involved because we're not really taught this in school and no one really tells us. So how are we meant to know? But in simple form, you need to do bookkeeping. A tax return is basically everything that comes in and out of your business money-wise. Everything for the whole year, April to April, what you have spent money on, and everything that has come in that you have earned. For me, I do this at the end of the year. A lot of people would do it monthly, an organised way. For me, I don't like to do it monthly because I just don't have the time. So for me, I'd rather sit down for a few days straight in April and just smash it out in a one-er. Now, I sit down, I look at every single invoice, every single order that I have made, every single order that has come in, the shipping that I've paid, everything that comes in and out, I put it all on a stick and I send it to my accountant. And honestly, it's the easiest way to deal with it. I do know how to do it, but I just don't, again, I don't have the time. I would rather put that time into making more earrings and running my business at the end of the day, and I would rather just pay someone else to do that. So if you're in the financial state where you can pay someone else to do it, I would highly recommend it because it makes your life way less stressful and you know it's being done right. So you're not gonna get any fines coming through. And if you do, you can send it to your accountant and say, what on earth have you done here? But for me, I've had my accountant for, this will be the 3rd year now, and he's done amazing with it. And anything that he thinks that I need, he will just ring me and say, right, we need to do this, we need to do that. And then we discuss it together, have a few meetings, and it's sorted. So I literally pay an accountant to do that for me. And I would highly recommend it. Look at local accountants or accountants online, whatever's best for you, and see if that's an option for you. But if not, go on the Gov website and do some research on how to do a tax return, because like I say, even if you're not making enough money, you do still need to do that, and make sure you register your business. I've not gone too much in detail on that because I don't want to bore you, but also I do just want to make you aware because a lot of people just don't talk about it, like I said, and I think it is good to be mindful of that when you're starting up your business because you may not realize that that is what's involved, and you want to get that prepared at the beginning so you don't get any fines. Something that I learned through running my business is do not try to please everyone. Now, at the beginning of running my business, I really tried to please everybody, and I tried to fit every demographic. So I did a black and white collection, I did a neutrals collection, I did a colorful collection, I did stuff for kids. Why am I trying to cater to all these people? If you niche down, you don't have to be super niche where it's just Harry Potter or something like that, but niche enough where you know your demographic, you know your target audience. Whoever enjoys a colourful, you can see from my background, I'm a colourful person. I try to keep my business very positive, uplifting, and I want that to be represented through my earrings. So I'd like when you wear my earrings to feel confident, to feel good, to know that, you know, this is cliche, but earrings can fit everyone. So you can wear them with any outfit and they just make you feel good. And I'm not just boasting, okay, but I do get so many people saying how many compliments they get on their earrings because they do not exist anywhere. These earrings, they don't exist. I made them, I designed them, I got the cutters made specifically for me. They don't exist anywhere. So if you wear these out, people are gonna see them and they wouldn't have seen them before. So they're gonna give you a compliment more likely than less. All these people that have told me they've received compliments from their earrings, do you know how good that makes me feel? Because I know how good that made them feel when they received the compliment. I think just knowing who you want to please is really important to running a business, because then you can just focus on them people. Now, unfortunately, 2026, social media is pretty much one of the only free ways of promoting your business. So I would highly recommend getting on social media. You don't have to do them all. If you just want to focus on one solely, if it's Instagram, for example, put your all into that. You do need to really post your stuff on social media if you want to get far and get people to notice you. It's really hard otherwise. I don't know honestly how else at this stage in life, at this time, how I would promote my business if it wasn't for social media, because it's what everyone's on and it's what everyone uses, and especially in 2026. Personally, if I was to recommend any social media, I would say TikTok, because you can get a video go viral no matter who you are, no matter what it is. It could be completely random and it could go viral, and that could completely make your business. People have become millionaires from just TikTok alone. So I would recommend getting some sort of social media, start posting videos, start posting pictures, the process behind the scenes, tips and tricks, whatever you want, packing orders, even packing fake orders if you've not received any. It gets your business out there, and even if one person sees the video, that one person could become a really crucial customer to your business. If you have just started a business, I would recommend not overstocking. I did this at the beginning. I stocked up so many packaging boxes, which I did end up using eventually, but you just don't need to do that. You don't need to overstock on anything. Just get what you need to start with. Even if you've had your business for a little while and you're gonna do a big order of something, just think about if you are definitely gonna need it. I mean, packaging boxes is a little bit different because you can just keep them there for however long. It doesn't really matter too much, but there are certain things where I just think don't overstock, because you're gonna be left with so much else and you're just gonna be sat there with tons of it, and you may not have much storage for it, and it's gonna be sat there and you're gonna feel more pressure to sell it because you're gonna be thinking, why is no one buying it? And yeah, just try not to overstock, because you are also just wasting your money. If you're beginning, just get what you need for now, and if you need more, just buy more. Last thing I'll probably mention for today's video is just dealing with customer complaints and problem solving. I think running a business, you come across so many issues. Whether you ship out your items and Royal Mail have put up their prices, they've changed tariffs, there are new ways to do things that you need to kind of try and figure out. Even things like getting a label printer, you've got to figure out yourself how to use that, how to set it up. Everything is a learning curve. You need to learn so much, no matter what your business is. And sometimes it can get frustrating, but just take your time, look at YouTube, my videos. No, if you're making polymer clay though, check out my videos, guys, because I've got so many other tips and tricks on here. But be prepared for some problem solving. It can be very frustrating. When I got this oven, I bought another one beforehand and it didn't work and it burnt all my earrings, and then I had to buy a new one and it wasted a lot of money, a lot of time. That is a lot of how running a business is, especially at the start. Don't get disheartened. Do not give up. Just keep going, because I promise it will be better and you will come across way less of that further along in the business, because you'll be prepared. Now my oven's got its own settings. I just open it, throw the earrings in, close it, and it's done. My life is so much easier now. But the beginning part of having to try and set it up, figure it out, burn earrings, it's a stressful process. The same with everything. It is stressful to begin with, but once you get used to it and you're comfortable, you'll be fine. And customer complaints, you're gonna come across these at some point. You can literally be perfect and people will still moan. That is unfortunately how people are in this day and age. People are very impatient these days. Something I've noticed definitely recently in running my business is the impatience of people in general, in customers. It's the worst it's ever been for me personally. People know my earrings are handmade, but they still expect them next day. Now, as much as you can disclaim this on your website, you can tell people, they don't really care at the end of the day. They want their earrings and they want them now. And with Amazon being so accessible, people have become way more impatient. It's like on TikTok and things like that as well. The attention span that people have is awful. It is, and it makes life much harder as a business owner, because when you want to create a video, you need to crop it down so that it's catchy. You get someone in 2 seconds. It's, you know, informative. It's so much pressure. It's not just about making a nice video that you enjoy. It's about capturing someone in 2 seconds and getting a big punchline at the beginning. And for me, my TikToks don't do that well anymore, because I don't do that. I just want to create videos that I like. So that does make it difficult. And again, when it comes to customer complaints, you're likely to get some now and again. And it's just about knowing how to deal with it. Personally, I pride myself on my customer service because I try and respond as quickly as possible. I try and solve the problems as well as I can. And that's all you can really do. At the end of the day, we're just people at home trying to run a business. Whether you've got experience or not, for me, I've worked full-time in offices and retail and everything for like over 10 years. So I've got a lot of experience with customers and customer service and customer complaints. But if you don't, then I would just say to take your time, really think about what solution you would want if you were a customer. And sometimes you do unfortunately have to lose a bit of money when it comes to customer complaints. If someone's saying that their item broke, you're either going to have to refund them or replace it. Whether it's your fault or not, this does happen in the post sometimes. For me, it's happened many times where they've broken the post, and it is so frustrating. But sometimes that is just part of the business, and it may cost you a little bit, but it is what it is. If that customer might come back 10 more times after, but if you treat them badly, that's a customer gone. And at the moment, like I say, with people's impatience and people in stuff now and then, and the access of Temu and places like that where things are 20p for something, and then when you're trying to sell something with value, it's really hard. It makes it very hard. So every single customer is so valuable. So just make sure that you treat them as valued customers. You should be good. You should be good, I think. I hope this has kind of helped in some sort of way. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you're into polymer clay, I do have a polymer clay full guide that you're more than welcome to check out. It's on my website. Or if you're into earrings and you'd like to support my business, which I would highly appreciate, because like I say, I'm about to have a baby. Your girl needs all the money she can get. So if you'd like some earrings, these are part of the Valentine's collection that's coming out soon, or it might already be out now. Feel free to check out my business. I would really appreciate it in all seriousness. And leave a comment with what business you are starting, or if you've already got a business or you're thinking of starting one. Let me know what the name is, what it involves, what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be making, whatever it is. Please let me know in the comments, because I would love to know what you guys are working on for this year. If you're about to start a business for 2026, just give me all the info. I want to know, and also I can check it out too. And I shall see you in the next one. Bye.